Hello, guys. Got another screencast for you, History Day related. Today in class, we are talking about primary sources and where to find those and exactly what we should be looking for. So I thought I'd run through this again, too, for those of you that are absent or just who need a quick little reminder on how to find them as well. So primary sources, remember, are first-hand knowledge, right? It's somebody that was there, witnessed it, talked about it, interview, something like that. It could be a map, a document, a signed document. It could be a chart, a graph, a picture, a video, anything like that. That is a primary source. And as far as how many primary sources you need, there is no necessarily, History Day doesn't have an exact number. What I will tell you is, at a minimum, you should be thinking about 5, 6, 7 at a minimum. And the boards that do the best, that get the best grades, that do the best, that go to regionals and do the best at regionals, they have a lot of primary sources and a lot of different primary sources, whether that is maps, pictures, graphs, charts, quotes, all those different things. Those are the ones that do the best. I'm going to show you two sites here that are helpful to find primary sources. So if I go to if I go to the Google Classroom page, and we're just going to use period 3 here as our example, but it's the same for every single period, no matter what you're in. If I scroll down to where it says History Online Sources and open up that document, it gives me this research document where I can find a bunch of good research information. I'm going to scroll down again here, and I'm going to go to History Day Collection in Destiny. And I'm going to click on there. And again, maybe you have been here when you've been researching different things throughout the History Day process. Well, there's two really awesome sites on here to find primary sources. The first one is called the Library of Congress. Library of Congress has a bunch of mainly United States or United States related documents and primary sources so that you can look at. It is a wonderful, wonderful resource for you. So I highly suggest using this. You can go up here. You can look at all the formats that they have as primary sources, and then you can search. If I want to search, maybe I'm going to search the same topic that I had before with John Rolfe and Pocahontas' marriage. So I'm just going to put John Rolfe in here. And I come up with a bunch of available 440, all terms 588. So I got a bunch of different options of primary sources that I can be using here. So maybe I'll go John Rolfe marriage, just to kind of narrow it down a little bit, because that's what my topic was about. Look at that. Here I got a picture of the marriage of Pocahontas. We scroll down. Some timeline stuff in there. Another timeline looks like a presentation. But if I click on this picture, I can look at it like, oh yeah, I think that's a really cool picture. John Rolfe, there's a primary source. Then a JPEG, I can download it from right there, and then I can put it on my computer and get it printed off. So that's a really good source for you to be using, is Library of Congress. So if I X out of this though here and go back to the Destiny Discovery page, scroll down a little farther, and you'll find this source here, this Docs Teach. This is another good source that you can use as well. This one here too, American History, the Smithsonian, would be another good primary source spot for you to look at. But let's start with this one. So if I click on here and I go to their page, so maybe if I type in John Rolfe, I'm not going to find it a ton. Okay, it's going to come up with no documents. Well, that's because he and what happened was really too early for them. So if I change this up though and say I have a topic of D-Day. Okay, so in World War II, when the United States stormed the beaches in Normandy, we call that D-Day. So I type D-Day in. Well, here I find all kinds of or primary sources. Here's an interview from D-Day survivors. Okay, that's a primary source. If I was to click on that, okay, I get that interview, the transcript of the interview. That's a primary source because it's an interview from a survivor of D-Day. They were there. Okay, so, and here's another, like a cable from Dwight D. Eisenhower to General Marshall regarding the landing. Again, this is a primary source. I could print this out. If my topic was D-Day, I could print this out and put this on, add this onto my board, and it gives it it adds that sense of being there, that sense of primary sources right there. So it's important that you use primary sources. Remember, you have to have at least 6 primary sources. They don't have to be pictures. They can be documents. They can be charts, graphs, interviews, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so, and then if I was to look at this one too from the Smithsonian, can look here, and again, you can search your topic. Maybe I'll try John Rolfe again. And so again, here I do find some different things, and I just have to go in and see if they're something that I can use, and go from there. So there's a couple different options for you, okay, that you can use to find primary sources. Remember, you need to have anywhere from at least 6, 7 primary sources, and the really good ones, the ones that move on, they have way more than 6. They have a lot of primary sources to be added to their board. And again, where do you find all this stuff? Google Classroom, your Google Classroom page. Good luck.